everyone, how are you doing today? My name is Jason Rodriguez. Thank you so much for showing up and watching this video right here. Today's topic is, how to get started in real estate business from scratch. Whether you have any education or education, I get asked often. Being in real estate for over 20 years, and I've done hundreds and hundreds of houses. But I get asked all the time from whether it be friends or people trying to get into the business, how do I get in? How do I get started with the business? Some people have money, some people don't have money. Some people are super confident, some people are maybe not necessarily so confident. And so one of the things that jumped to my mind was to tell you a story about this guy, Jeff, right? So Jeff was one of our clients, coaching clients, and how I met Jeff. Before I tell you how I met him, let me tell you a little bit about Jeff. So Jeff, he was about 35 years old and married, had 2 kids. His kid was 8 and 12 years old. He went to college and he graduated from college. He built up some debt that he had from college and whatnot. And he was a manager at a small computer type company. He was on salary. But during the salary, sometimes you work 40, 50, 60 hours. He took work home at night, on the weekends, kind of had to do that stuff, trying to get his way up to climb the ladder. Although he even told me, I was trying to climb up the ladder and do stuff, but there really wasn't much ladder. There wasn't like I was going to expand so much in this company. And he felt that he had done a lot of the things that he was supposed to do. Go out there, be a good guy, go to school, take on your college debt, try to have some dreams and have some dreams and ambition, and kind of like proceed with life, and then get married and have kids and do all of that, and then just live this great life, and then everything would just happen accordingly. When he was a little younger, one of the things that he wanted to come and do, and one of the dreams and aspirations, was to do real estate, because he knew that real estate actually made money and gave freedom. And so he's at this job and he made pretty decent money, but he did a lot of hours, and so here's how we actually met. How we actually met is I was speaking at a networking event, right? And when I was speaking at the networking event, I had seen Jeff at the networking event, and but once I finished speaking, a lot of people wanted to come and talk to me about their business and what was going on with them and deals and those kinds of things. And I never really got to come and speak to him, although I did recognize him, who he was, and he had asked a question from the audience. I never got to speak to him that day. About a few weeks later, I went to another networking event, and at that networking event, from the corner of my eye, I saw someone looking at me, and it was like, I just felt my spidey senses tingling, and from there, I just saw somebody look at me and just kind of beeline straight for me. So he caught my attention, ooh, and I was like, oh yeah, that's that guy that I met last time. And he's like, hey Jason, how you doing? And he he proceeded to tell me all about what was going on in his life, that he had the job and where he was at, and most importantly, that he was really, really interested in investing in real estate. And actually, it was one of those things that he had dreamed about doing years before he even started college, and just never was able to make it happen because he felt he had to take the good path and go to college and do all those things before he could try this real estate business. And he went off and he was telling me all of this, and I was listening to him, and Jeff was just a really nice guy, and he is a great guy. And one of the things that started to compel me was how he was so about his family, and he wanted to do something extra. And he found himself after going to college and building up tens of thousands of dollars in college debt and personal debt, and had a decent job, and realizing there's no growth in his company, and he would just be in the same position. I remember telling me, saying, if I stay in this, what I'm doing right now, in 5 years from now, I'll be in the same situation. And it just made me think, how many people, if they don't make a change, that they may get a regular pay bump, but of whatever that pay normal raise is, but it's nothing that's gonna transform their life in the way that they really want to make that happen. So, we got to talking a little bit more at that networking event, and he expressed how bad he wanted change in his life. So bad, so much, that he just realized he was just getting by, and he wanted it so bad that he had committed to go to 2 networking events per month to learn about real estate. And ironically enough, I was at the first one, and then I was there at the second one. And so we're talking and we're figuring all this out of what's going on with him. And his story was just so compelling. And so I asked him a little bit about himself, right? At that networking meeting. And I said, Jeff, what do you think is holding you back? And Jeff told me that there were these 3 things, 1, 2, and 3 things that he said was holding him back. And I said, well, tell me a little bit about it. What's number 1? And he said, Jason, I tend to procrastinate. And I'm like, okay, so you tend to procrastinate. Why do you procrastinate? And we went inside there. I said, give me a few examples of what you mean by procrastinate. And little, surely enough, he says, I see things and they don't necessarily, I may be a little bit afraid of them, so I procrastinate and I put other things in front of it. And I said, okay, tell me what's number 2. So what was number 2, he said, was that he overanalyzed things. And so, I said, well, tell me a little bit about what do you mean by overanalyze? And the reason I always want to know a little bit more of what they mean, what people say when they say it, so I understand. Because he was asking me to help him, and I really did want to help if I could. I can't help everyone, but I can help certain people. And so when he said overanalyze, I was like, okay, I get it. And one of the things with me is I make my business as simple as possible. 20 years of real estate investing, doing hundreds and hundreds of houses, and even right now as I make this recording, we have probably about 6, 7 houses that we are in the middle of some phase in buying, selling, fixing, holding, keeping, whatever we're doing with them. Right now, today, as I speak, I'm the one speaking. So coming back to Jeff. So when Jeff said he overanalyzed things, and one of the things that came to my mind is the 5 steps to success. Because the 5 steps to success make everything easy. So, and I'm going to talk to you about the 5 steps to success on one of our next videos that we do. So just make sure you stay tuned for one of the next videos, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. The other thing that I said, Jeff, what's the last thing that's holding you back? He says, Jason, I've read some books and I've done some other like little trainings, so I kind of understand some of the real estate, because he's been interested in it for years and he's just never taken action on it. He says he has a fear of fully committing to his knowledge of what he knows in real estate. And what he said was that he was scared because he did not know if he would be, the information he had would make him successful enough, meaning be able to be successful in doing a deal. And I'm like, I could relate to that. I get it. And inside this, he was paralyzed. So what I saw from there and understanding, those were situations that I could help. I knew how to help someone to stop procrastinating, to get over analyzing, and to get over the fear of committing their knowledge, in essence, how to get them into action. Those things I knew that I could come and help him with. Now, again, I'm buying houses, I'm selling houses, I'm doing all this stuff, but I do have this passion to help people. Because when I first got started as a FedEx courier, I needed help, so I understood it. And so one of the things that and just thinking about this and understanding Jeff and where he was at, and I asked Jeff, I said, Jeff, what is it that you want to do? He says, I want to learn how to buy a house, wholesale a property, but I really want to come and rehab. And I was like, all right, are you ready for that? He says, yeah. And so, I wanted to see, I stopped and I thought about it. What is it? How can I help him? And in talking to Jeff, it was so compelling that he motivated me and inspired me to want to see him win and to be successful. And with that, I really got it and I felt it. So we spoke about turning his life, his dreams into a reality, and how awesome would that be. And he was so excited and passionate about it that got me excited and passionate about it also. And so we had agreed to move forward and work in his business. And so he signed up for our coaching, and so we just started putting systems, tools, processes, and mindsets in place that I've used and my successful students have used to do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of deals. And sure enough, he started doing it. And I'll tell you, in the beginning, he went a little slow. I saw his procrastination kick in, but we wrestled that and made that and got over that. He analyzed deals and wanted to over analyze them. So I gave him some perimeters, and I was like, nope, you only got X amount of time, and then you're gonna make a decision. This is a good deal or a not good deal. Let's get it done. And sure enough, he started to do that. And then I kept on quizzing him and helping him to embrace his knowledge. And all of this was actually in just a matter of a few weeks, because we got right into it. I know most people, when they get involved in real estate, they want that check and they want it fast. So we helped them to come and make it happen fast. And so with that, what happened? So sure enough, he started implementing all of these pieces, and bam, right out of there, he did it, and a great deal came over. And he found it just exactly how we said it, and sure enough, it was a great renovation, a rehab, a fix and flip, one of those. We could have wholesaled it, but he said no. He could have made it, probably in the beginning, he probably could have made about $7,000 if he just sold it as is and went on with life. But he said no, what he really wanted to come and do was to rehab it. So we took that approach and we started down the path and building out what that rehab would look like. I was so proud of him just to get it. And to be able to say, yes, I got it, and I'm here, and I'm doing the deal. And I want to come and tell you, so like he was nervous when it was all there. The seller had agreed to sell on the price. We had the terms, everything was there. And it was time to write the contract, and oh my God, procrastination and overanalyzing and fear of commitment all started to jump in. But we wrestled that thing down, and we said no, and he put it on the contract, and in a very short period of time, he actually closed on that property. So at the end of the day, he had the opportunity to wholesale it at $7,000 or renovate it and make $50,000+. It was right above $50,000. Like, think about that. How amazing is that? To get started in one of your first deals and something that you were so excited about, to be able to make $50,000 in the renovation that would have been all done and wrapped up in probably about, it was probably about like 4 to 5 months. It's not a bad paycheck, $50,000 in 4 to 5 months. I'll do it. Would you? Would you do that kind of a deal? I hope you would. So one of the great things inside there, you know, so Jeff actually, we helped him to buy it, to fix it, to sell it, and then he was able to come and profit that $50,000. And with that, you know, that just builds a lot of confidence. So, you know, Jeff is still out there. He still works at that same job, which is fantastic, because you know, before that, he couldn't take vacations. He did a lot of those staycations, and now he actually was able to go on vacation. And having an extra $50,000 in your bank account in less than a year on a job where he made just a little bit more than 50, so he almost doubled his salary, his annual salary, just in a little bit of time. I consider that to be a win. And I would imagine most people consider that to be a win. You know, I remember the days when I worked at FedEx. To kind of make that kind of money was monstrous. And I want more people to come and be able to have success stories like Jeff. So Jeff is still working at that job. Jeff is still doing deals, and he's actually up to, I think, deal number 4. So shout out to Jeff. Shout out to Jeff. And we are still out there, you know, doing deals and helping people to become winners and be successful, because I feel that people deserve that, and you deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. So that's the story with Jeff. We want to. So I am definitely about helping as many people as possible to get to their next level. So what we've actually done is we did a free training, and there's probably a link on the bottom. It's down there someplace. So there's a link down there, and that is links that will link you to our free mini training that we have. So if you like this, there's a lot more down there, and check it out, and I'll talk to you on the other side. My name is Jason Rodriguez, and I will see you later.